Everything that follows the words I am becomes your world. They're not just sounds, they're the creative pulse of existence. When you say I'm tired, the universe agrees. When you say I'm alive, it rearranges itself to match that. Exodus 3:14 says, "And God said to Moses, I am who I am." That name wasn't spoken from the clouds. It was whispered inside your own chest because you are the voice of I am. There has only ever been one name for God, and that's I am. It's not a title, it's identity itself. Every thought that follows it paints the canvas of your reality. So when you use those words, you're not describing yourself, you're decreeing yourself. I am is the center of consciousness that never changes. Everything else, your body, your story, your memories, they orbit around it. I remember one of my closest friends from childhood. We worked together in business for years, and every time we would talk, he would begin the conversation the same way. He would say, I'm tired. Then he always follows it with, I'm sorry. At first, I believed it was just a passing comment until I noticed the pattern. Every time we met, it was the same declaration. I began to see how life kept conforming to those two phrases from him. Situations would arise that drained his energy, and unexpected problems would then appear to force him to apologize. He wasn't cursed, he was just creating unconsciously through his own words. And then one day I told him, I said, it sounds like you built an identity around being tired and being sorry. He then paused, and that pause was the beginning of awareness. Before transformation, there must first be a revelation. He saw it, and from that moment, he began to shift his I am. When you feel lost, come back to that still point. I am. No labels, no definitions, just being. That's the presence that spoke the universe into form. You've been using the name of God your whole life without realizing its power. Every complaint, every affirmation, every whisper begins with I am. Joel 3:10 says, "Let the weak man say, I am strong." Why? Because the moment you declare I am strong, you shift states. You move from weakness to strength by owning the new identity. My friend's story reminded me that no one on the outside of us is making life heavy. It's the identity we repeatedly agree on. When he changed his words from I am tired to I am energized, the energy around him began to change too. Business began to flow more smoothly. Opportunities opened, and even his posture looked lighter. There's no external savior waiting to empower you. The savior is your awareness, and it's saying, I am that right now. That's the Christ in you, the creative word made flesh through thought and feeling. Every word that you attach I am becomes flesh and time. Every emotion you feel after saying it becomes its heartbeat. Here's the application. So start listening to how you speak to yourself. Catch the casual declarations that sabotage you. I am exhausted, or I'm unlucky, or I'm not enough. Each one is a command written into the field of consciousness. Replace them gently, not with force, with an awareness. I am rested. I am guided. I am more than enough. Feel the words until they hum in your body. Say them as if God himself were speaking, because he is. When you wake, before your feet hit the floor, pause and then declare, I am awake in God, and all things work together for my good. Let that tone set the rhythm of your day. Every interaction will mirror the name you called yourself by. I am is the key to every locked door. It doesn't beg, it creates. When you remember who says I am, you stop chasing and you start becoming. You realize the words you speak are movements within your own being. And the moment you feel them as truth, creation obeys. So guard the sacred name, not with fear, but with reverence. Because whatever you put after I am, that you shall become. So here's today's affirmation. I am the name of God. I am the author of my reality. I am all that I choose to be.